ఆయన ప్రారంభం ఎలా జరిగాయి ఏంటి అంటే వెంకీ అట్లూరి మీరే గెస్ట్ చేసుకోండి ఏం పాటలు ఏ సినిమా అనేది. బట్ ఇది
a little bit more privacy, and it's one of the easier ways to make sure you're avoiding probate.
And one of the things, Kristen, that I share with people a lot about when you're getting a trust, a trust is a really good idea typically for someone who has very explicit wishes upon how they want their money delivered to their heirs. So, for example, some people say, hey, I've got several kids, but I have one child. I know if they get the money, they'll go through it in a way that I don't want them to. So if you want to have special rules and things like that, a trust is a great way to be able to dictate those wishes and control the way that your beneficiaries receive your leftovers.
And I want to, I hear this a lot from folks, so I want to make sure that we talk about it right now. A trust, just because you put something in a trust, doesn't change the taxation of that account. So a lot of people sometimes think, oh, if I can throw this into there, I'm not going to have to pay the taxes, or I'm not going to have to, pay the IRS their portion. No, you're still going to have to do that, okay? So the trust really covers your privacy, dictates your wishes, make sure you don't go through probate, but it doesn't change the taxation of your accounts, which is really, really important.
Yes, and I know next week we are going to dive deeply into the tax conversation. There's so much, I'm sure there's a lot of questions that folks have specifically regarding taxation, especially as they think about passing on wealth to their heirs. We're going to touch on a lot of that next week, but again, the point is that this is why all these things have to be looked at in a comprehensive, holistic manner for sure. The other thing specific to Texas, I know you wanted to touch on, was the Lady Bird deed. Can you speak to that?
Oh yeah, we get questions about this all the time, and then I run into people that have never heard about it. So the Lady Bird deed is a super cool thing, I think, in the state of Texas. The thing that it allows you to do, most people put their home in a Lady Bird deed. And so what that allows is for you to pass your home on to, say, for example, your children, and it does not go through probate. And so one of the really cool things about this is it's not like super strict. So what I mean by that is you can still sell the house if you decide to. You could lease it out if you decided to. You could put another mortgage on it. You can still do all of the things that you would want to be able to do. You have that flexibility. But the main thing it allows you to do is to pass that home on to who you want to without the home having to go through probate. So that is a really good workaround for a lot of people that don't necessarily want or need the trust. This is a really good tool that we're able to help people with to give them the information on how they can use it for their plan.
So again, for those who are maybe newer to Texas, they definitely want to check that out, right?
For sure.
And here's the deal. We can get it as complicated at Retire Simply as we need to. I mean, we've done charitable remainder trust and NIMCRUTs and NIMCRATs and all these other things. If you need it, we have estate planning attorneys we can get you in touch with that are just good folks that, we don't, have any relationship other than they just do great work. But a lot of people don't need that. We can show you some online resources to help you build some of these documents. If you prefer to sit down with an attorney, we can point you in the right direction so it doesn't cost you, hopefully an arm and a leg. But a lot of this basic stuff these days can be done online. And, you can kind of start the process, think about it, pause the process, come back to it, that sort of thing.
So the truth is this stuff is getting easier and easier It's just we've got to get it done. We need to know what the resources are. We've got to get it all buttoned up, but it's really getting easier.
Yes.
And we can point you in the directions of different resources, even other than us, that will help simplify this just so y'all can get it done.
Yeah, you know, we see a
the main
lot.
thing.
That's right. We see a lot of blended families. You know, we're a blended family.
Yes.
We see a lot of blended families, and a lot of husbands and wives that are blended. You know, they care about. Well, my kids get this because this came from my mom and dad, and the other set of kids get this because it came from their grandparents. That's where this estate planning really comes into play. I mean, when you have complicated things like that and you're trying to decide who gets what and how you want it to flow and make sure that if they get divorced again, the kids stay here and, you know, that sort of thing, that's where you need a lot of this type of work.
And I love that you shared that, because that is the perfect example of how everybody's retirement plan is different, because different things matter to all of us.
For sure. And I think, too, that's the name of, if we had to sum up this episode, we just want you to simply get it done, right? Just get it done. You will feel so much better with all of this buttoned up. I know that a lot of times folks spend a lot of time thinking about it and worrying about it and stressing about it, when really if we just put the energy into taking the action and getting it done, we would feel so much better, and you can sleep that much more soundly at night. So again, if this is something that has been stressing you out, if you have been putting it off, you know you need to get it done, we encourage you to reach out to the team of Retire Simply. They are here for you. You can book that 15-minute complimentary discovery call by calling 833-363-1947, and you can also grab that digital legacy quick read for yourself as well. I mean, the reality is your family shouldn't have to wonder what you wanted, and they definitely shouldn't have to fight over it. A lot of this infighting and strife, it can be easily prevented with the proper planning, and I know that that brings you so much joy to help walk people through this process and just help them get it done.
It does, and it's also one of those areas that require the least amount of maintenance. So once you do it once, I mean, you're typically not having to redo it a whole lot. So yeah, putting in the effort to do it one time, yeah, we got to look at your income every year and your taxes and all these other things, but this doesn't change a whole lot. So once you get it done once, more than likely you're good to go.
Right, and what a relief to get it done. So again, we encourage you to reach out, 833-363-1947. Well, as we wrap up today's episode, we also want to remind you all about the Thrive event coming up on Saturday, September 6th. You can grab your tickets at retireSimplyThrive.com. Again, 100% of the proceeds are going to be donated to Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. So grateful that you all are doing this. And I know you've talked about how much fun the event is going to be. I have to tell you all, when I first saw you launch the event and I pulled up the website and I saw who the MC and the host is going to be for the event, I was like, oh, it's a party. It's our mutual friend, Joe Wilson. Talk about that.
Yeah, he's flying in from Cincinnati, and so he is going to be, you know Joe, he makes everybody comfortable, and he can get anybody excited, and this is really an event where we want you to get it done. We want the whole plan to get done. That's why we're making it simple. That's why it's going to be an action-packed day. It's a Saturday from 9 to 3. We're going to be having a blast.
Yeah, we've got swag bags, we've got giveaways, we've got all sorts of fun stuff that we're going to be doing. You're going to get to meet our whole team, and we're going to dive into every one of these letters and make sure you've got everything you need to have the retirement you're looking for.
And we really thought this out. It's going to be in Los Colinas, right in the center of the Metroplex. We're going to be in the West End, so it's a great area that we're going to be in, and you're going to learn a lot. So if you're just learning about retirement, or you're halfway into your plan, this is the place for you. We're going to be going over it all. This is what we share with our private clients. And by the way, we've already announced this from TV. We only have 250 is our max that we can have. A lot of those tickets have already gone. Yeah. But if you act fast, I know that I will pray that you'll still get one of the tickets. So act fast and visit us at retireSimplyThrive.com. That's retireSimply, Thrive.com.
Wonderful. Well, Scott and Angela, as always, this has been such a valuable and informative episode, and I look forward to continuing this series with you next week. Make sure you come back next week. We're going to be talking about the L of the Retire Simply plan, which stands for less to the IRS. We know that you want to know how to save money on taxes. We're going to be talking about that and so much more. So thanks so much for being here. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we look forward to being back with you next time here on Retire Simply Radio. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and are not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, securities, or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and legacy planning strategies with a legal or tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategy discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. All rights reserved.
The preceding program was furnished by the Retire Simply Radio Show and is responsible for its content.
570 KLIF, breaking news 24/7. 570 KLIF, Dallas, Fort Worth. 96.3 KSCS FM, HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Will it be free? I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. A special guest may be coming to President Trump's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday. Fox's Chanley Painter.
The White House is considering inviting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to Alaska, where President Trump is set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. Right now, it's not clear if Zelensky and Putin would sit down together. The push comes as diplomacy ramps up to end the more than 3-year war. Zelensky is vowing Ukraine will not give up any land captured by Russia after Trump suggested there could be some swapping of territories to end the conflict. Meantime, Vice President J.D. Vance and the UK's foreign minister hosted a summit in Britain Saturday with Ukrainian and European allies. U.S. officials say significant progress was made. Zelensky also calls the meeting constructive, but warns no decisions can be made without Ukraine.
And Ukraine says land concessions are forbidden by its constitution. Police in Baltimore are now investigating a mass shooting, leaving 6 people hurt last night, Saturday. Police Chief Richard Worley saying one person was severely hurt.
One of the males was shot in critical. Homicide unit has been notified. He is currently in surgery at an area hospital.
The suspect remains on the loose. No motive yet for the shooting has been provided. Lawmakers urging Meta to shut down Instagram's new map feature, citing child safety risks. They worry the 24-hour location sharing could expose minors to predators. The app notifies parents and lets them disable it, but bipartisan lawmakers want the map removed entirely, saying some users had their location shared without their consent. A meteorite fragment that fell through the roof of a Georgia home last June has been analyzed. The University of Georgia geologist estimates that it's billions of years old, older than Earth. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, thank you.
Fox News Podcast.
I'm Janice, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News.
from the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.